Hi, friends. Okay, so here's a quick video since we have handstand push-ups coming up of two of the biggest faults I see in the body positioning of handstand push-ups. Mind you, they're not the two most common faults. They're the two most common body positioning faults. The two most common faults I see are head position and hand position. But this is with body positioning. And that's in the catch as well as in the actual firing of the handstand push-up. So if you're in this video, don't panic. I'm not going to make a whole video because one person has one fault, right? If you're in this video, it's because you do something that a lot of other people do. And it's just so much easier to aggregate it into one video for everybody, okay? So if you see yourself in this video, just breathe. You're not the only one. You're just the one I have on camera, okay? So let's start with Tupper. So, whoops. Tupper has what's called a very traditional kickstand handstand push-up. So kickstanding is when she goes into her compression phase right here. You're going to see that her whole body right here, her upper body, excuse me, is against the wall, the entire thing, okay? So she's going to kick up. Normally you would just want like this portion of her tailbone to be against the wall. So she's going to kick up. And you'll see the first thing that touches the wall is her back right here at her scapulas. Okay. Then her butt. Then she comes down the wall. So technically, right, if I was holding her to like open standards, that wouldn't be a rep because her heels never touch the wall at the top. Okay. So right here, she should tap her heels against the wall to make that rep count. So you can see that as she goes, same thing, upper body's against the wall, goes into her firing phase, hits the wall, and then she forces her body up into lockout. She's pushing her body against the wall right here. So the reason they call this a kickstand is because if you look at a motorcycle or a bicycle from the front or the back, right, looks like a motorcycle with a kickstand. Okay, that's why they refer to it as that, or I've heard it referred to that multiple times in gymnastics courses. So you ultimately just want your hands and your feet against the wall at the top of the press out. So, and on her way down, also dragging her body down the wall. So this is really inefficient because it takes a ton of extra pressing force to push your body against the friction. So she's pushing her scapulas, most of her thoracic area, her booty, and in some cases, her heels, because they do occasionally touch, up against that wall, and she's just dragging it, pressing, using all her shoulder and tricep pressing power against the friction of the wall. So it makes it significantly harder, okay? So she gets about halfway, and then she's on the wall. Her arms are still bent. And then she presses out. So this is her grinding against the wall right here. And she does touch her heels this time, so that's a good rep. So she's super consistent, super consistent. She hits the wall at the exact same time with all the same parts against the wall. Back, booty, heels against the wall, and then drags her body, presses her body up the wall. Okay. So next is our second most common fault. Actually, this is probably, the Tupper does is probably our second most common. This that Mrs. Ranville is doing is our most common, and that is the big arch stripper booty. Boom, right? So you're going to see a line that comes down, big round arc, and then a line to her arms. And it's super pronounced right there at the top, right? Zip, zip, zip. Okay. This is really tough right here on this lower back area. Really tough on this lower back area. All of her weight, her body weight from here up is resting right on this little point. Okay. And she's kind of exploding into that position. So there's a lot of force on that point. Comes back down. So she starts well. Her booty's the first thing on the wall. Her hands are on the ground. There's nothing else touching the wall except her coccyx, like her very, very low back, and then her hands are on the floor. Nothing else is touching the wall. She's got a good firing, good kip. So what she needs to do is just pull this arch out, right? Pull her hips that way and just have her heels against the wall. She just needs to straighten her body so that there's a nice line right here. And what happens when she does that is her shoulders will move forward too. So in reality, her head will be like right here. Her head will be here. Her shoulders will be like right by her head. So her head will be kind of through the window, and then her body would look more like that. And it's all a matter of just her activating like her posterior chain right now and just pulling her hips forward and creating a straight line to the ground or to her hands. So this is easy to pull out. You just have to think about it. And then what will happen is you'll pull it out during the pressing phase. So as she kicks up, she'll essentially straighten her body out just like that. She'll stay like that, but she'll press her arms straight. This body will stay straight like this. And then she'll just hit her heels against the wall and keep a straight body as her arms straighten out. Versus what's about to happen, which is this resting phase right here, where she kind of just pins her body up against the wall with this big arc right here. So, and I'll demonstrate. So as I come down into my compression phase, whoop, a little fast. So my butt's the only thing on the wall. My heels are on the ground. I explode up. I keep my body straight. Heels are on the wall at the top. Nothing's touching the wall here. Heads through the window. So I have bad shoulder mobility, and I did this demo with no mobility at all, no warm up, nothing. So even I have a little bit of an arch in my back, but I can easily pull that out with just 5 minutes of shoulder mobility to prepare for handstand push-ups. Mainly, I just wanted to show you how not to have your entire back or your entire lower half against the wall. But you can do handstand push-ups with a little bit of an arc. That's fine. Just it's so much easier not to have your body against the wall. So you can see where my eyes are, right? I'm looking at the opposite corner of the top of the building. Come down, nice neutral head, so I can land kind of fast and hard. So next one, fire. So you can see butt, feet, butt, feet, butt, feet. That's all that touches the wall ever. It is my very low back, just above the crack of my butt, and my feet. And I land pretty hard on my head, but I have a neutral spine, so that's fine. Like, I'm not looking up at the ground at any point, and I'm not looking down at my chest. I'm keeping my head in a good position to load my body for the next shot. Boom, heels touch the wall. I can feel my elbows lock out right here. I know that that rep is good, and I can immediately go into the next rep. Okay? And that's it. Okay, guys, that's really all I had for you. I just wanted to give you a 10-minute kind of brush up on your form so you can maybe feel this while you're upside down. Like I said, hand position and head position should be first. Then we'll iron out your other positioning. But these people, their hand and head position is already kind of okay. Tupper's is a little close. That's one of the reasons she's so on the wall. She's a little tight to the wall. But when we pull her away, she lets it get into her head, and then she fails. So she can do good form. She's just not ready for it yet. But for the most part, these people's hands and head position are fine. It's just they've gotten used to this, and now they have muscle memory of being against the wall in that way. So you kind of got to take a few steps back and start over. Okay? All right, good luck.